Here's a landscaping twist that stuns neighbors. Skip the lawn entirely and let sculpted stone do the storytelling. Rocks don't wilt, don't need mowing, and amplify curb appeal instantly with texture, contrast, and form. Today on Luxury Home Decor, we're crafting front yards that feel curated, calm, and incredibly low maintenance. Think layered river rock, dramatic boulders, and pathways that guide the eye like artwork. By the end, you'll have practical, stylish ideas to transform your entrance with confidence. Begin by choosing a simple backbone palette: warm tans, cool grays, or deep charcoal. Keep rocks within a related family so the yard looks intentional rather than random. Then add a second texture, perhaps smooth river stones against rugged lava rock, to create depth without clutter. This base layer acts like a neutral rug, grounding the scene. Once it's consistent, every plant, pot, or sculpture feels deliberate, letting small accents deliver major impact without needing expensive makeovers. Seasonality matters even without grass. For spring, let pale gravel echo soft blossoms from drought-tolerant perennials. In summer, emphasize shade pockets with larger stones that retain coolness and define gathering spots. Autumn loves russet hues. Choose rusty slate chips that harmonize with turning foliage. Winter thrives on structure. Bold boulders, evergreen silhouettes, and crisp edging keep the view engaging. Designing around seasons ensures your rock garden feels alive year-round, even when blooms pause or daylight shortens. Create flow by sketching gentle rivers of pebbles that meander from the walkway to the porch. The eye loves movement, and a rock stream suggests calm. Vary size gradually, from chunky cobbles near borders to finer gravel near entries, to avoid abrupt transitions. If your home is minimal, keep lines clean. Cottage style welcomes playful curves. In both cases, consistent scale and spacing keep things organized. Rhythm is the secret that turns separate elements into a cohesive statement. Budget-conscious tip. Buy rocks in bulk and sort them yourself. Mix sizes to stretch value, reserving the most sculptural pieces for focal points. Use landscape fabric under gravel where you want clarity, and skip it beneath planting pockets to help roots spread. Reuse existing bricks or pavers to edge pathways, reducing costs while adding character. Small savings multiply quickly, letting you invest in one splurge. Perhaps a statement boulder near the steps that feels like natural architecture. Think of rocks as frames for plants that shine with minimal water. Mediterranean herbs like rosemary and thyme spill aromatically over warm gravel, while agave, yucca, and sedum punctuate space with sculptural leaves. Choose plants for contrast. Fine grasses softening jagged stone, silver foliage against charcoal chips, burgundy succulents beside pale pebbles. Group in 3s or 5s to avoid visual noise. With smart spacing, growth fills gaps over time, giving a lush look without crowding or extra maintenance. color strategy is powerful. Cool-toned homes, blues, grays, crisp whites, pair beautifully with granite, blue slate, and icy river pebbles. Warm facades, beige, taupe, terracotta, glow beside sandstone, pea gravel, and golden decomposed granite. If your exterior is bold, keep rock hues quiet to balance the composition. Use color repetition. Echo the front door shade in ceramic pots, repeat it in flowering accents, then ground it with neutral stones. Repetition builds harmony and makes the scene feel expertly curated. Space optimization starts at the curb. Narrow frontage benefits from diagonal stone bands that visually widen the yard. In small plots, select fewer larger elements rather than many small ones, which can feel busy. A single pathway, slightly offset, introduces dynamic energy and guides guests naturally. Keep planting heights tiered, low near the street, taller near the house, so architectural details remain visible. Every choice should either guide movement, frame the entrance, or create comfortable breathing room. Layering is the designer's superpower. Start with a compacted base for stability. Add landscape fabric only where you need strict weed control. Pour your foundational gravel, rake smooth. Then nestle larger stones partially buried to look anchored rather than perched. Finally, tuck smaller pebbles into gaps to transition gracefully. This three-step hierarchy prevents scatter, keeps surfaces walkable, and helps rainfall percolate efficiently. Good layering feels effortless but performs like an engineered system through storms and scorching heat. If you want instant drama, introduce a boulder vignette. Choose one hero stone with an interesting grain or silhouette, then flank it with 2 supporting pieces at varied heights. Slightly sink each boulder so it appears native to the site. Surround with coarse gravel to emphasize mass, then soften the edges with tufted grasses or low succulents. This simple composition works across modern, rustic, and traditional homes, giving the entry a sculptural, gallery-like presence without fuss. Pathways influence mood as much as destination. Crunchy gravel evokes casual charm and signals a slower pace. Flagstone stepping pads offer stability with organic edges that complement curved beds. Decomposed granite forms a firm, accessible surface when compacted properly, ideal near stoops or driveways. Keep pathway width consistent, aim for gentle slopes, and set clear boundaries using steel, stone, or recycled brick. A comfortable walk from curb to door does more for welcome than any porch accessory. When trends spotlight sustainability, rock landscapes shine. They reduce water use, resist heat waves, and invite pollinators through hardy plant companions. Consider a rain garden basin lined with river stones to capture runoff and irrigate surrounding beds. Permeable pathways limit puddles and erosion. If local codes allow, replace a portion of driveway with stabilized gravel for added infiltration. Eco-friendly choices don't sacrifice style. They create a narrative of care, resilience, and intelligent design that increases long-term value. Texture thrills the senses. Pair smooth pebbles with spiky yucca, feather-soft fountain grass with craggy basalt, and satin ceramic pots with rough limestone chips. Aim for 3 dominant textures and repeat them across the yard to avoid chaos. Even in monochrome palettes, tactile variety keeps the composition lively. When every material has a distinct feel, nighttime uplighting becomes magical, casting shadows that dance across surfaces and transforming the front yard into a calm, luxurious evening retreat. Edging is your secret to crisp lines. Steel edging disappears visually but holds shapes beautifully. Stone set on edge creates a charming, handcrafted border. Reclaimed roof tiles provide character and sustainability in one move. Whatever you choose, maintain consistent heights and gentle, readable curves. Well-defined boundaries keep gravel from straying onto walkways and create a polished finish that reads expensive without being flashy. Good edges make maintenance easier and help every design decision feel intentional. For seasonal flair, plan swappable accents. Spring welcomes painted terracotta, light lanterns, and herb markers. Summer invites woven baskets, cool-toned cushions by the bench, and minimalist sculptural stakes. Autumn loves copper planters, rusted steel details, and warm-toned river stones. Winter thrives with evergreen wreaths, matte black pots, and reflective quartz chips that brighten short days. Because the rock framework stays constant, small accessories do the seasonal storytelling, letting you refresh with minimal effort and cost. Consider focal symmetry if your facade feels formal. Pair identical boulder groupings on either side of the path, mirror planters, and keep gravel hues consistent. For a relaxed, modern vibe, go asymmetrical. One bold cluster balanced by open negative space on the opposite side. Both approaches work. The key is balance. Step back, squint, and ensure no side feels heavier. When weight is distributed thoughtfully, your entrance feels composed, welcoming guests with quiet confidence and understated luxury. Lighting transforms rock textures after sunset. Low path lights skim over gravel like moonlight, while uplights graze boulders to reveal dramatic veins and shadows. Use warm white temperatures near the door for hospitality and cooler tones against foliage for contrast. Keep fixtures hidden, wires tidy, and beams focused to avoid glare. Solar options make installation simple and cost-effective. Thoughtful lighting extends usability, boosts safety, and showcases your design principles long after daytime color fades. Front porches and steps benefit from visual grounding. Run a ribbon of fine gravel along the base of the facade to separate plantings from walls, preventing splashback and highlighting architectural lines. Use a statement doormat color that repeats in nearby ceramic pots or painted house numbers for cohesion. If space allows, integrate a bench on compacted decomposed granite, anchoring the seating zone with wider pavers. Comfort paired with order makes the entry feel lived in yet elevated. Water elements without lawns can still feel natural. A small basin fountain nestled within river rock amplifies tranquility while masking street noise. Keep the aesthetic simple. Round stones, a single spout, and plants that tolerate occasional splash. Recycle water with a hidden reservoir for efficiency. If you skip fountains, consider a dry stream bed with varied pebble sizes and driftwood accents, suggesting movement without actual water. Either approach introduces calm and contours that guide eyes and footsteps gracefully. Hardworking curb appeal often starts with the mailbox zone. Replace turf with compact gravel, then introduce a micro-arrangement. One structural plant, one boulder, one accent pot. Repeat the trio rhythm further along the drive for continuity. Add reflective house numbers and a tidy gravel apron where car doors open, keeping shoes clean in wet seasons. This modest makeover costs little, reduces maintenance, and sets the tone before visitors even reach the path, hinting at the style awaiting them. If your climate brings heavy rains, design for drainage early. Grade the yard subtly to direct water toward a rock-filled swale that doubles as a design feature. Use larger stones at entry points to slow flow, then taper to smaller pebbles downstream. Plant moisture-tolerant species near the lowest points and drought lovers on higher mounds. By respecting water's path, you prevent erosion, nurture plants naturally, and prove that beauty and practicality can share the same space. Minimalist facades love repetition. Choose one rock type, one plant family, and one accent metal. Repeat them in measured intervals from street to stoop. The restraint feels serene and upscale, especially with neatly raked gravel and concealed irrigation rings at plant bases. Introduce a single, oversized planter near the door as a punctuation mark. When every element has a reason, the design breathes easily, and daily maintenance becomes a calming ritual instead of a chore. For eclectic homes, celebrate variety within boundaries. Mix basalt and limestone but keep sizes coordinated. Combine succulents with grasses, but limit the color palette to 2 or 3 tones. Add a playful found object, perhaps a salvaged gate segment or driftwood arch, anchored by consistent gravel beneath. This curated mix feels collected over time rather than thrown together. The rule is simple. Contrast textures, connect colors, and repeat shapes. Your front yard becomes a personal story told gracefully. Driveways offer another canvas. Replace the narrow strip between driveway and property line with a linear rock bed. Alternate bands of pea gravel and river rock for subtle pattern. Then punctuate with upright grasses to soften vehicles' presence. Where tires occasionally roll off, switch to compacted decomposed granite for durability. This improves drainage, reduces mud, and adds rhythm to an otherwise utilitarian area. Good design turns overlooked margins into composed details that tie the whole frontage together. children or pets at play. Choose rounded pebbles in high-traffic zones and define clear routes to minimize trampling. Create a small dig-approved corner with inexpensive gravel and smooth stones, framed by edge restraints so curiosity stays contained. Select non-toxic plants, avoid thorny varieties near pathways, and keep boulder climbing heights sensible. A rock garden can be family-friendly without losing style. It simply needs thoughtful zones that serve exploration, rest, and safe passage in equal measure. Budget stretch alert. Shop reclaimed yards for stone offcuts, vintage pavers, and architectural fragments. Mixing reclaimed materials with new gravel creates instant history and reduces waste. Use irregular pieces as stepping pads set into compacted decomposed granite, spacing evenly for comfortable strides. Reinforce gaps with hardy ground covers like creeping thyme. This approach keeps costs modest while delivering a bespoke look that feels designed rather than purchased. Perfect for homeowners who value sustainability and individuality in equal measure. When choosing containers, think silhouette and material first, color second. Tapered cylinders feel modern. Urn shapes read traditional. Boxy forms suit contemporary edges. Concrete, fiberstone, and terracotta each behave differently alongside rock textures. Test combinations by placing samples together before buying multiples. Keep container groups odd-numbered for visual rhythm, and vary heights without exceeding the tallest nearby plant. When vessels complement stones, your plant choices shine, and the whole composition gains a quiet, sculptural elegance. Compact yards can appear deeper with perspective tricks. Start with larger rocks and coarser gravel near the viewer, then gradually shift to smaller sizes farther away. Keep plant heights diminishing toward the street, and run a pathway that narrows slightly as it approaches the curb. These illusions draw the eye forward, making the plot feel expansive. Pair with a restrained palette to avoid distraction. It's a simple stagecraft technique that brings drama without requiring extra square footage. Address numbers and mailbox finishes deserve the same intentionality as stone choices. Choose metals that echo your pathway edging: brushed steel with gray slate, weathered bronze with warm sandstone. Mount numbers on a modest backing panel set into a gravel pocket for emphasis. If illuminated, keep the color temperature consistent with your landscape lighting. These small points of coherence quietly elevate the entire design, signaling that every detail, from pebble size to typography, has been considered. Mulch alternatives pair beautifully with rocks. Try crushed pecan shells or pine bark fines within planting pockets to conserve moisture while contrasting with surrounding gravel. The change in texture frames foliage and suppresses weeds where fabric isn't practical. Refresh organic mulch seasonally, but keep rock boundaries crisp so the transition reads deliberate. This hybrid approach offers the best of both worlds: soft nutrients for plants and hardwaring, clean lines where foot traffic and wind would otherwise scatter materials. Don't overlook scent. Plant aromatic companions near paths, lavender, thyme, or dwarf rosemary, so each step releases fragrance warmed by sun-baked stone. Pair with night-scented blooms near seating for evening enjoyment. Aroma creates memory, and memory sells the design every time. Even a minimalist front yard benefits from a pocket of perfume. It's an invisible luxury that deepens the experience without visual clutter or ongoing expense. Fragrance turns routine arrivals into small rituals you'll look forward to daily. If you enjoy DIY weekends, try dry stacking a short retaining edge to shape gentle mounds. Slight elevation changes make small yards feel layered and give plants better drainage. Use flat-faced stones, overlap joints, and tilt rocks slightly inward for stability. Fill behind with compacted base and top with gravel. This approachable project creates sculptural contours, protects beds from runoff, and proves handcrafted details can coexist with polished finishes, delivering custom character without needing heavy equipment or professionals. Climate-smart planting keeps maintenance light. Choose natives that partner naturally with local soils and rainfall patterns. Then accent with architectural exotics sparingly. Group plants by water needs, placing thirstier species along downspout-fed rock basins. Use gravel topdress around trunks to discourage pests and reflect heat. With this strategy, irrigation becomes minimal and plant health improves, allowing your stones to remain the consistent canvas while foliage performs seasonal solos. Fresh spring greens, summer silhouettes, autumn tones, winter structure. Consider curb-friendly seating. Even a modest stone bench tucked near the porch adds invitation without cluttering the layout. Set it on compacted decomposed granite, framed by a low boulder and fragrant planting. This microzone becomes a pause point for packages, neighbors, or morning coffee. It also signals hospitality while reinforcing your style language. Solid, quiet, enduring. Seating proves that a no-grass front yard isn't just scenic. It's livable, functional, and thoughtfully attuned to everyday moments. To keep maintenance realistic, design with tools in mind. Allow wheelbarrow width access, create hard edges for easy raking, and avoid tight plant clusters that trap debris. Choose gravel sizes that won't scatter underfoot, and install discrete broom-finished concrete pads where trash bins roll weekly. When chores flow smoothly, your landscape stays pristine with minimal effort. This practical planning preserves the luxury vibe, ensuring the rocks read refined rather than unruly throughout every season and storm. For bold personality, experiment with pattern. Lay alternating bands of dark basalt chips and pale limestone to form a quiet stripe, or arrange circular pebble mosaics that nod to traditional courtyards. Keep patterns near the entry where guests experience them closely, and let the rest of the yard remain calm. Pattern works best when paired with simple plants and limited accessories. The contrast between artful detail and expansive negative space feels tailored, memorable, and wonderfully photogenic.